lose consciousness, but he must have really rung his bell pretty hard.
Traumatic brain injury, or TBI, is an injury that disrupts the brain and its activity. TBI can result from a blow to the head, a jolt of the brain, or an object that goes through the skull. In the United States each year, 1.7 million people sustain a traumatic brain injury. Each of these heads represents 20,000 people. Of the 1.7 million injured, 50,000 people die and more than 250,000 are hospitalized. TBI can be mild to severe. Severe TBI can lead to permanent disability and even death. 75% of brain injuries are mild, meaning they are not life-threatening. In the U.S., most brain injuries in children, 55%, are caused by falls. 24% are caused by being hit in the head with an object, like a soccer ball. Among children older than 5, car accidents are the #1 cause of TBI-related death. Assault is the #1 cause of TBI-related death in those younger than 5. But even mild brain injury, like a concussion, can seriously affect daily activities. Mild TBI can cause problems with the child's speaking or understanding, movement, thinking or memory, and personality or mood. We can all help reduce the risk of TBI in children. Use a safety seat and/or a seat belt when the child is in a motor vehicle. Make sure the child wears a helmet when riding a bicycle, skateboarding, and playing sports like hockey and football. Install window guards and stair safety gates at home. Avoid shaking or jolting a baby. To learn more, visit nichd.nih.gov.
Types of brain injuries: acquired brain injury and congenital. Congenital brain injury is an injury to the brain that happens before birth. Congenital brain injuries are not serviceable for special education services under the IDEA Act for Wisconsin or Minnesota. Non-traumatic brain injuries, as a result of a health impairment, often caused by stroke, infection, toxin, tumors, also does not meet Wisconsin or Minnesota's definition of a traumatic brain injury and are not serviceable by special education services. Traumatic brain injury caused by a fall, child abuse, neglect, surgery due to an injury from the brain, bicycle injuries, motor vehicle crashes are all serviceable under the IDEA Act and have to be documented by a doctor to receive services. The who, how, and what of traumatic brain injury. In 2013, 2.8 million traumatic brain injury-related accidents, hospitalizations, and deaths occurred in the United States. According to the CDC, male children from 0 to 4 have the highest rates of TBI-related emergency room visits, hospitalizations, and deaths combined. TBIs are caused from open head injury or closed head injury. An open head injury is an injury in which the brain tissue is penetrated from the outside with an object. A closed head injury is an injury where there is no open wound, but there is significant damage by a blunt blow or jar to the head. There is an acceleration or deceleration inside of the brain. When a fall, vehicle crash, or other similar accident causes a brain injury, the brain is damaged by both the direct impact and the movement of the brain inside the skull. Students experiencing traumatic brain injury have one or more areas of the brain affected. The frontal lobe controls problem solving, creative thinking, personality traits. The peripheral lobe controls visual functions, reading, understanding, and language comprehension. The temporal lobe controls memory. The occipital lobe controls vision. And the cerebellum controls balance, coordination, and motor learning. Brain injuries are often medically categorized as mild, moderate, severe, depending on the amount of time the child is unconscious or the length of time the child has symptoms of amnesia or inability to remember things. The frontal lobe damage is often seen in traumatic brain injury and is significant in that it often results in problems with behavior regulation, executive functions such as organization, focused attention. Frontal lobe damage also controls a delayed onset of symptoms, which is one of the most challenging effects a student with a TBI will experience. In 1991, the Individuals with Disabilities Act included traumatic brain injury, or TBI, to be serviceable under its own category. The federal government adopts and instructs each state to develop a plan that provides a definition for educational classification, referral, resources, and services to students with TBI under both state and federal guidelines. Wisconsin legislature defines TBI as an acquired injury to the brain as caused by an external force resulting in total or partial functional disability or psychosocial impairment, or both. This disability will adversely affect a child's educational performance. The term applies to open or closed head injuries resulting from impairments from either one of those injury areas and affects a student's cognition, speech, language, memory, attention, reasoning, abstract thinking, communication, judgment, problem-solving, sensory, perceptual and motor abilities, psychosocial behavior, physical functions, information processing, and executive functions, such as organizing, evaluating, and carrying out goal-oriented activities. The term does not apply to brain injuries that are either congenital or degenerative, or brain injuries that were induced by birth, trauma, or any other health impairment.